What is going on, investors? My name's Emmanuel, and investors, I have to say this, I am all in on Palantir, okay? I don't mean all in whereby I've liquidated my entire portfolio and gone all in one stock. I mean all in as in my entire budget that I set aside for Palantir is now fully invested. My position in Palantir is now completely built. I would probably be willing to stretch my budget if Palantir drops into the teens, which would be an absolute steal. But I am all in on Palantir right now. They have made two recent investments that I absolutely love, and I'm going to bring to your attention. We're going to explore this. Also, you may have heard the news, Cathie Woods, they continue to load up on Palantir shares like it's not even funny. Look at the amount of acquisitions they've made since they started buying in October. And also, aside from Cathie Woods ARK Invest, other institutions have also been buying Palantir shares like it's breakfast. They've been buying it like it's breakfast. So contrary to what the media will have you believe about Palantir, they are saying one thing, but institutions and the big money are doing the other. So in this video, I'm going to bring to your attention all of the investments that Palantir have made over the last couple of weeks. And I was reading this ARK Invest research article dated back in January 2015, and they did raise some key points. So this is 6 years old. But all of the information provided in this article is absolutely relevant today, if not more so, because data has now surpassed oil as the most valuable commodity in the world right now. So before we dive into all of that, please make sure you smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to see more content from me. So if you do want to stay up to date with all of my latest research, all of my buy and sell alerts, then you need to join my Discord group. And you can do that by clicking on the Patreon link in the description below. So with all that said, let's dive straight into it. So as I mentioned in my intro, this is an article dated back from January 26, 2015 by an analyst called Chris, and it was titled Big Data Analytics, Life Preservers to Companies Drowning in Data. Now, these are the key points that I liked, okay? It started off by saying data has always been critical to business decision making. And that's fact. I mean, you can go back centuries. It's all about data. However, data is a lot more accessible in this day and age with the internet, with the gig economy. Everything that we do now revolves around data, from your phone, the apps you use on your MacBook or your laptop. Everything is collating data, and this is what these businesses are using to make critical decisions, okay? I know there's a big woo-ha about it. A lot of people don't like that, but the reality is even the country that you live in is collecting data about you. So you can fight it if you want, but the reality is this is happening, all right? If anything, this has already happened, okay? So another key point was, as businesses have digitized operations, the amount of data has grown faster than their ability to process and organize it. So this is the problem. Some of the best and biggest businesses on the planet are problem-solving businesses. So this is a major problem that businesses are facing all across the world. It's not just limited to the US or the UK. It's all across the world, and is also applicable to countries, okay? So they desperately need tools to capture the digital breadcrumbs that customers leave behind. Businesses can answer many more questions about their customers. How long do customers browse before making a selection? Is there a stage in the transaction process that takes abnormally long? What items do customers buy together? Are searches for additional items going unfulfilled? These are critical decisions that businesses rely on to be able to push their best-selling products, what inventory to focus their attention on versus what they shouldn't be focusing on based on the data that they've collated. But this is the major challenge. But storing and analyzing them properly is challenging. Introducing Palantir, who are known for data capturing, data storing, data analyzing, and also formulating critical decisions based on that data that their clients can then choose from. And that fundamentally is what separates Palantir from most other data companies out there. And this is why countries are pretty much now on their knees, desperate for Palantir's software. And it's not only countries, you have major blue chips. Now let's take a look at what ARK Invest have been doing, okay? So they started buying around October, okay? And as you can see, every month without fail, they have been loading up on Palantir shares. So you can see back in October, the first initial acquisitions were, they seem like filler positions, okay? So you know when you invest in a company just to keep your interest, that seems like that's what these first two initial acquisitions were. Then on the 13th of November, they loaded. Okay, she bought over 1 million shares. This was the first time that ARK Invest picked up over 1 million shares of this company, and they continued on the 14th of January, picking up just shy of 500,000 shares. And this is all for the ARKQ fund, by the way. And on the 16th of February, they picked up another 1 million shares in the ARKW fund. And if you recall, on the 16th of February, that's when there was a huge sell-off for big tech. You know, the Nasdaq dropped, I think, 2 or 3% on that day alone, and then continued to drop lower, which is why you can see they continue to buy. And tech continued to sell off towards the end of February, like we all witnessed. And again, more buying from ARK Invest, 2 million shares there, and they've just continued to buy. And as of yesterday, April 7th, they picked up over 1 million more shares of Palantir, and they are not playing around with this company. And ARK Invest are not alone. Institutions have been buying throughout the whole of April when price was cheap. And it still is cheap in my opinion. Take a look at March. They continued buying throughout the whole of March. Even if you go down to February, more institutions are loading up on this company. However, the media will have you think otherwise. They will say Palantir is overvalued. Palantir is not good for humanity, not good for society. But if that really was the case, why are institutions topping up on Palantir pretty much every single day this year up until today? Investors, please do not sleep on Palantir. Do your due diligence, and it needs to at least be on your watch list. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the investments that Palantir have been making. So Lilium was one of the first ones that I was aware of this year. And Lilium are an electric vehicle takeoff and landing jet company. And they're going to be going public via a SPAC. And this was announced back in March. And if you're not familiar with Lilium, they are going to solve a massive problem, which is traffic. One of the biggest problems yet to be solved as we speak. You know, we have the likes of Elon Musk with the Boring Company, who are building underground tunnels. But Lilium, they are not focusing on the ground. They are focusing on air travel, okay? Simple, effective air travel that will solve the age-old problem of traffic. Now, this is their investor presentation, which I found to be extremely interesting. According to the company, their TAM is between $1.5 to $3 trillion. That's simply because they are involved in the moving of people and the moving of things at a high speed. Now, I do understand where they're coming from, but this is not going to be cheap, okay? This is probably going to be accessible to the top 1% because this is what the inside of the Lilium looks like, okay? This is not going to be your typical bus, catch the bus. This is for high-end luxury clients. However, I can imagine a time when other companies begin to make aircraft similar to Lilium's. They will become cheaper to make and it becomes more accessible to your average person. Then, of course, you can see that TAM. However, there'll be a lot more competition. But Lilium do have the first mover advantage with this type of technology. And if you look at the PIPE investors, you have Bailey Gifford, you have BlackRock, you have Tencent Holdings, PIMCO, and there we are, Palantir Technologies Inc. So this company definitely has some solid backers, Tencent being another popular one. And the latest investment, which was announced yesterday, was in Sarcos Robotics, which is also a SPAC who will be merging with Rotor Acquisition Corp. Sarcos Robotics, a leader in highly dexterous mobile industrial robotic systems, develops robotic systems to enable the workforce of the future with solutions that enhance productivity, reduce occupational injuries, and equalize employment opportunities for jobs around the world that do not lend themselves to automation. It's a $220 million pipe, and the investors once again are BlackRock, and you have the kid Palantir Technologies Inc. being one of the early investors of this company. And I shared with my Discord that I don't know about you, but this seems like the movie Elysium playing out right before our eyes. If you look at their presentation, they make exoskeleton suits, and again, and you can see how they reduce risk of injury at work, etc. Now, Palantir believe this to be a worthwhile investment, which is why they're backing this company. The question is, will I be investing in these SPACs individually? And the answer is no. Personally, I'm happy to stay invested in Palantir. I'm happy with the fact that Palantir are making these investments, and me being a shareholder of Palantir indirectly means that I am also invested. So I will not be invested in these SPACs individually. It just makes no sense for me personally. All right, so before we go, let's take a look at the share price, because Palantir right now is trading at some key support levels Obviously, we had that initial run up back in January when Palantir got caught up with the whole Reddit and meme stock madness. But I do see us retesting these highs very soon. But we will need to get past this key resistance levels at about $30. If we can break through that, then it's full steam ahead to our all-time highs. However, if this support level doesn't hold and we eventually break through, then Palantir is definitely going lower, which in my opinion presents even more of a great opportunity to load up on Palantir shares. Like I said at the beginning, I am all in, but if prices do get ridiculous, I do have money on the side ready to load up on some more Palantir shares. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. What do you think of Palantir's recent investments in these two SPACs? What do you make of ARK Invest continuing to load up on their Palantir position? Are you currently a Palantir shareholder? If so, let me know your average. I know some of you guys got in during the IPO prices, so around $9, $10. So get me jealous if you want. I always read your comments. But remember, none of this is financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and your own analysis before you decide to invest in any company or any stock. Remember, Peter Lynch says, know what you own and why you own it. I know why I own Palantir and I know why I'm holding my position. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to see more content from me. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.